Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You?
Oh, grand.
So, when I was growing up, I had obviously like young children in the 90s, except for maybe you, because you're from India.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of VHSs. Do you you have VHSs growing up, like video cassettes?
I did, and we had it well into the 2000s.
Of course, yeah. I'm just joking. Like everyone had VHS. Do you remember that they came with trailers?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So like Disney would come with trailers, and it would be like, get Beauty and the Beast until like, we put it literally back into a vault for 100 years. Yeah. That world, it's so funny because like a certain generation of people will never experience that world. It sounds like I'm about to say something very profound, but I'm not. Because I remember so distinctly, every time I think of the name of the director of this film, I remember a movie that I had that I must have watched 100 times. Because I remember so distinctly the voice of the guy going like, the new film from John Turteltaub.
I thought you were going to be like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtletaub or something.
No, I just remember every time I think of John Turteltaub.
Wow, that is a very distinct memory.
A director who, like, I think I've seen, now just 2 of his films.
Yeah. and two profound movies. My God, what an impact on our culture.
I've seen Phenomenon, and I've seen what we're talking about today.
National Tresz.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Natty Tresz, also known as Natch Tresz. National Treasure.
Number 1.
Just the first one.
The first one.
And yeah, we're going to be doing Natch Tresz 2, Book of Secrets.
Today, we're only stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. I want to steal the Declaration of Independence. I remember seeing... I must have seen the preview for this movie when I saw Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
And I wanna say something about that too. This movie is really good.
Yeah.
I really like this movie. Uh-huh. It's a complete product of its time in many positive ways.
Yeah. But
speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean, I think Pirates of the Caribbean actually pre-ruined any hopes of this becoming a bigger thing. Because at this time, 2004, National Treasure comes out. Pirates of the Caribbean is 2003.
Yeah.
But National Treasure is a completely original script.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And Pirates of the Caribbean is based on a ride, yes, but something that was much more easily franchised. And then Disney was like, we love this franchise thing. And they tried to do Book of Secrets, and it just wasn't good.
No.
And then they were like, it must be because it's not based on a ride. And then they were like, why don't we buy other things? And then here we have like Disney, and what I'm trying to say is like Disney just bought into the franchising of everything, which is what they're for. That's what Disney is, I get. Yeah. But this movie is so good.
It didn't need to be a franchise.
It didn't need a sequel.
A second part and a third, well, not third part, but that's like a TV show now.
Have you watched it?
I couldn't stand it. I heard it's
really awful.
It was not great. Yeah. And Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it. So like, what are they doing?
Well, casting a great actress, obviously.
But for a shit show.
Yeah.
Like, shorty, if you need money that bad, damn. But I don't know. I feel like, this movie obviously is very self-aware in how ridiculous it is.
I think so.
Just to preface everything, we fucking love this movie. Okay?
I do really like this movie.
This is a blast.
I've watched it. I watched it in Spain, as we talked about, and I rewatched it. I was like, we have to do this on the pod, and I rewatched it. And I think I watched it 3 times altogether in prep, and I was like, "This is actually a very
fucking
good
solid
movie." Yeah,
because it doesn't care about being a good film; it just cares about being an entertaining film, and it is doing a great job at it.
And it just happens to be good.
That's it.
Yeah,
every single scene, like they hold your hand, they explain every single thing. We're gonna go do this next, and then they go do it next.
You know what I love actually about this movie. Certainly, the first act of this movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, a little bit of like a masterwork of writing.
I'm telling you.
I want to go into this in like kind of a more complex way. And I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. Okay, what I love about this movie, it's like such a classic form of screenwriting where it's like it's always like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. They have a success and then an immediate failure, and a success and an immediate failure. And it's so great. And what I love too is that when the first act ends, when he decides that he has to steal the Declaration of Independence, this is actually, I'm so like gushing about this. It's actually kind of brilliant because in like a lesser story would be like, well, you should do the right thing. Yes. This guy's going to steal it. He doesn't mean well. You should do the right thing. Instead, Nicolas Cage is standing over the Declaration of Independence, and he quotes from the Declaration to explain his motivation, and it fits perfectly for what he's about to do.
Oh my God.
It's like such a good fucking idea. Like, I think it's actually kind of brilliant. And
I mean, because the whole premise is that the bad guy's like, we should steal it. And he says, no, we can't steal it. And then he says, I'm going to steal it. Nick Cage is like, no, I'm going to steal it before you.
Yeah.
So, and what a wild goose chase.
He knows he's going to be, it's a crime. He's going to commit a crime, but he's doing it for the greater good.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really brilliant. And I could go on, but do you have anything you want to say about that?
I just want to say, like, I don't know, when did Da Vinci Code come out? Because this movie,
I want to talk about that too. Yes,
it is. National Treasure is fucking yassified Da Vinci Code. Okay, it's just like yes, it's a more chill version.
National Treasure, Da Vinci. Well, Da Vinci Code came after National Treasure.
Yeah,
but the book came out before it.
Correct.
Da Vinci Code is National Treasure if it took itself way too seriously.
That's right,
and that's a problem with Da Vinci Code that we're going to get into in a deep way. Certainly, we're going to we're going to decode the Da Vinci.
My God,
we're going to decode the symbol Audrey Tau to
the two taubes. The turtle tubes
was a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
That's enough of that.
National Treasure. Okay, so this is something I was thinking about a lot because lately I've actually been on this like very long kick of very thematically similar things. Mm-hmm. So National Treasure comes in like kind of a long lineage of kind of the treasure seeker film, right? And really everything after Raiders of the Lost Ark is just a derivative version of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Totally.
But on like myself personally, it's weirdly, I watched The Mummy recently. I would say that fits into this.
Yeah.
The National Treasure movies, the Da Vinci Code movies kind of fit into this. They're not, like, they're still seeking treasure, quote unquote, but the motivation is slightly different.
Right.
And then the Venn diagram of like alternate histories, because like I've been playing Assassin's Creed and it's just like making up history about the world, and then Da Vinci Code and that series is like just making up silly histories about like the meaning of art and symbology and stuff.
Man.
And they're all derivations, in my opinion, of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right.
And most importantly, what I find why The Mummy I think is a really good movie. I think this is a really good movie. The problem with making sequels of them is that they all start in the same place that Indiana Jones starts at in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he's just like, I just want to find the treasure.
Yeah.
And
Noble
the journey
cause.
the journey he has to go on is realize he has to like do what's best for the world.
Right.
You know? So he goes from treasure hunter to soldier of God.
To a more socialist approach.
Yeah. Okay. No, like he just knows that there's something greater than the treasure itself. You know? Mm-hmm. And much like Raiders, Indy versus Belloc in Raiders, in National Treasure we have Sean Bean versus Nicolas Cage, who are motivated in almost the exact same way.
Yeah.
And while this movie is like fully derived from Raiders of the Lost Ark and obviously not as good, they do such a good job of making it interesting and being like, I mean, you can derive this all day. You can derive on me all day.
It wouldn't have had the same impact if Nick Cage wasn't there. So he does have to carry a lot of this. Yeah. Even though the guy who plays Riley, Justin Bartha.
He's awesome.
For president. What a fucking guy. He's such a good actor. And he's only in the few things that I've seen.
He's the guy who gets lost in every Hangover film, is he not?
Yeah.
So he's a guy who's in one scene of each Hangover film. Yeah, something like that.
What a gem. He's
I think he's a great actor. I think he was on a TV series too for a bit. Like he's had a very good career.
Yeah.
And then the other person in this who's what we were talking about earlier was that Diane Kruger is the female lead. And Diane Kruger, I really like. Unfortunately, she hasn't done a lot of stuff that I do like.
No.
Even though...
Does she always play a German in things? Is she
German? She is German. I don't think...
German.
Like, honestly, if they're not going to ask her to like hide her accent in National Treasure, where she works for the government, they're not gonna like. She's probably like, no, I don't do that.
Oh
and I don't do that. Okay,
verdammt.
That is what Diane Kruger sounds like at all times.
100%.
That's what she sounded like in Troy too, where she played Helen of Troy.
Oh shit, that's right.
I'm Helen of Troy. I have a face that launched 1,000 ships.
Hey.
Troy in Troy, she's a total fucking object. She has no real nothing.
No motivation. In this one, she's such a weirdo.
Yeah, she's a nerd in this one. Which
she's
is funny because she's one of the hottest women on earth.
but like the nature of her job makes her.
Yes.
I mean, of course she's hot, but like the nature of her job is like she's just this sitting around dusty books, and then this like weird guy, straight up like president of Kooky Town,
fucking dusts her, man.
And then
like, I'm dust you off
every time, and she's obviously like annoyed by him at first, but then she's like, she does like a weird half smile every time he says something crazy.
Yeah,
that's how you know they're both
Did
crazy.
Bigfoot take it? Yeah.
Like,
the line,
she does a little
the line delivery where she was like, where he gives her the pin, and she was like, I can't possibly accept this, but I really want it.
I really want it. And she has crazy eyes.
She is great. She's really good in these movies.
Yeah.
But what surprised me is this is pre-Inglourious Bastards, a movie I don't like, but I do like Diane Kruger in that movie. And I had always kind of been like, that was when she came more in the public eye.
Yeah.
But I think weirdly, like again, I'm not a big fan of Inglourious Bastards, but Tarantino really gets an incredible performance out of her.
Oh yeah.
And like she's just like fucking real in that film. Yeah.
Dude, it's so hard because I can't think of one Nic Cage movie where he has good, convincing sexual chemistry with the lead actress. He's just, I don't know what it is. I feel like he's like a Ken doll. There's nothing down there. I cannot imagine him.
I can name two. In Adaptation, he has great sexual chemistry with himself.
That's what I said, an actress. Like it has to be a female lead, and he doesn't.
In Pig, he had
all right.
We had the pig.
Well, the pig does have a lot of screen time, so that's true. But like, right? I mean, he's with Angelina Jolie in 60 Seconds and nothing. It was brutal, hard to watch.
So yeah, but Angelina, that's also Angelina's character in that movie is so terribly written.
True.
And Diane Kruger's character in this is a better character. She has at least like her own motivations, like. He starts to kind of convince her. Yeah. One thing the biggest problem I have with this movie is that Justin Bartha and Nicolas Cage have incredible chemistry as a sidekick duo kind of thing. As like a Batman and Robin.
Correct.
And when Diane Kruger comes on, she kind of undercuts Justin Bartha's
all
part.
The time.
But I forgive it because it's the early 2000s. It's Disney. And there's got to be a love story.
Yeah.
But you're right that I don't think Nic Cage really has sexual chemistry with anybody.
No.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like, why do they keep bothering to do that? I hope they don't do it anymore. I don't know how many movies he's got left in him. Maybe 3-4.
Maybe 300-400. Yeah.
300-400 just this year. But call it off, Hollywood.
But I mean, I think of the big movies he's been in lately. He's been in Pig. There's no love story in that. And
you're right. I'm just saying every time there's no convincing.
No, I know, but I don't know about Renfield. I assume not, even though he plays Dracula. But the staggering work of Heartbreak, or whatever the fuck it's called, the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
That movie's not good, everyone.
He's got a lot of mouth chemistry with Pedro Pascal.
I really didn't like that movie.
I don't think I finished it.
I didn't finish it.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Love you, Nic Cage, but you're crazy.
And then, I just don't...
Not the ladies. Like, where the ladies at? Nobody cares.
You know what's so funny? In Con Air, he just seems like a hunk.
Yep.
But he's really not.
No. He's a weirdo.
Yeah. And then we've talked about how many Cage movies? We talked Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
He has terrible chemistry in that.
No.
Lord of War, like the part of the point of that movie is like he doesn't really have chemistry. But
well,
even
he's a bad husband too.
Even when he's putting it on, you're still kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know, Ava. Would you get in this plane with this?
I don't
guy?
think so.
Yeah.
No, dude. But him and any other male actor, excellent. Like any psychic role.
With one exception.
Oh.
Jared Leto.
he makes Jared Leto bearable, and that is a triumph.
Well, I think, like I said in that episode, that's the only movie where I can handle Jared Leto kind of.
Yeah. Man, this movie, I know we're kind of talking about like, it came out at the same time, or it had the energy of Pirates, and it had the energy of like Da Vinci Code, Same year as Team America World Police.
Classic, yeah.
Cinema fucking peaked in 2000 AD. 2004 is such a goddamn good year.
Yeah, but we've established 2005 as like
amazing.
Yeah.
But when did Prisoner of Azkaban came out in 2004? That is also kind of a...
Yeah, I would say the years of like, I would say one of my the only regrets of me being a teenager in the 2000s is the fact that I didn't have a theater available to go to the movies between like 03 and 07.
Yeah.
Because those years were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a few things, but not a lot. Like I saw Pirates of the Caribbean in theaters. I saw Zodiac in theaters, Constantine, but like not a lot that I would have seen. But then when in the 2010s, when I was like an adult with money, I was kind of like, I can go to the theater whenever I want. And I saw so many more things.
It was just, what a time.
Zodiac 2, Pirates of the Caribbean 7, Constantine 5, with all of the movies, yeah.
You know, the rising tide of American patriotism.
Iron Man 1s through 17.
Yeah. There you are. Anything after 2001.
Into, Across, Through, and Behind the Spiderverse.
How dare you besmirch the good word of Mr. Parker. But yeah, even it goes so hard on just being American. Yeah. Which of course I understand. It's all about the independence.
It's also like it's quasi educational. This movie, which I understand for like children is kind of like great.
I mean, Nick Cage's name is literally Benjamin Franklin Gates.
Yeah, it's like it's an easy pitch to be like. I mean, it's a semi-educational film, but it's like it should have a disclaimer being like, lots of this is not real.
This is just juicy. I feel like if there was a modern day take by like now whatever is patriotism in America, what if the lead is just like Mike Pence Musk? he's gonna steal democracy from everybody. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh man, I want to also ask, like, where is the discrepancy in the audience and critical reaction? Because like in my mind, this movie is kind of seen as like a classic of people's youth.
Totally.
And maybe that's just because we're millennials and lots of people saw this the same way we did, and we're like, that movie fucking rips. Like,
it was fun.
Yeah. I wonder, like, obviously it's not perfect, but I do think it's like a really good movie. But like, it doesn't have to be The Godfather for all people else to be like, yeah, it's good.
Of course. And it wasn't. I still think the rating is so harsh, because critic rating is somewhere like 45%,
like the 40s,
and but the audience rating is nearly 80.
Yeah,
it's like 77% or something.
And it's also like largely considered now for lots of people, like it's like you look back and be like, this movie was very good.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it's like very fun. It's kind of like, I think it's like on the same par as like Pirates of the Caribbean 1.
Totally. You know? It's like the Rush Hour type films, right? You don't need accuracy when it's like, oh, he dodged all the bullets. Yeah, of course the stakes are always low. Like, I'm never worried when there's a gun chase or a fight with Nic Cage. I'm like, nothing's gonna happen to him.
But is it as good as Shanghai Noon though? Like, seriously.
I'm a better fan of Shanghai Nights, actually. So.
Shanghai Nights? Are you kidding me?
But of course.
Owen Wilson in Shanghai Noon fucking is amazing. Him and Jackie Chan, one of the greatest on-screen duos you'd never think of.
I know. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Man, Owen Wilson and Nic Cage, have they ever been in a movie together?
No, but I feel like they would be good stepbrothers.
Incredible. Yeah.
They would be.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh my God.
He'd be like, you're crazy.
Wow.
Wow,
Nick. Yeah.
Ugh. I don't know. National Treasure is like, that's my Nickelback. I don't know.
What?
I love them the same amount. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like, it's like sometimes you listen to some music and
you love Nickelback?
Well, you don't hate it. Like, I feel like people...
Everyone hates Nickelback.
I know, but I think that's the fucking joke that everyone's in on.
That's such a running gag that it's like, I feel painful even reminding you that that's a running joke.
I know. It's like, it's so cringe because it's like, remember early days when whatever fucking Nickelback song would come on? I don't think of a time when anyone would change the channel if that song was on. You would just let it play off.
Yeah. Just like let it happen.
Just let it. You just like give in
lay
to
back
the Nick.
And be like, just let it happen, Chad Kroeger.
Chad Kroeger, take me away.
You look like a lion with your hair like that.
My God, him and Nic Cage. Now that's a fucking duo.
I don't know, dude. I don't think so. I don't think Chad Kroeger can act.
If Nickelback,
Okay, so here's the thing though. If Chad Kroeger could act, he would have
been played.
He would have acted by now. The thing, like, because Nickelback, the irony of Nickelback is like everyone's like, yeah, everyone hates them, but like 75% of the people who bitch about Nickelback go to the shows apparently because they were like one of the biggest rock bands in the world.
Well,
for a
of
long
course,
time.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like it's definitely a clique thing where it's cool to hate it. I'll stand by it, man. What's up? Nickelback rips.
I can't.
I don't know if I'll throw it on to listen to it now because I can't. But if it's on the fucking radio sometime, I'm not gonna turn off. Look at this graph.
Look at this graph.
I'm gonna do all the memes along with it.
If it was honestly, if it was like so bad, why were there so many bands that were derived from Nickelback's success?
That.
Like there were tons.
Exactly
that genre was alive.
You may even say it's the Indie Jones of music.
It's the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Nickelback was the Raiders of the Lost Ark of country
rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Oh,
yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm happy you agree.
You're happy that you vindicated Nickelback?
Well, just in that, if Nickelback is getting that kind of hate, then I understand why National Treasure by critics is getting 46%. I feel like that's the kind of hate.
But Nickelback is like the people's hate, like lots of people. And I want to be clear, like I don't think Nickelback is a good band, but I also acknowledge that the meme of being like, yeah, Nickelback's the worst band ever is like annoying and stupid.
Yeah.
I'm really baffled to hear you even bring them up. And
I'm just saying, man, it's like a lot of like modern now music. Like, okay, I'm going to get fucking crucified. But if I listen to every Taylor Swift song, it sounds the same. Yeah. Like Nickelback sounds the same across all their music. So
yeah, like I don't think you can have like a modicum of success without appealing to a kind of a
sound,
a standard.
Yeah,
it's hard to like be really complex and then also appeal to hundreds of millions upon millions of people. And I like not joking that that was Nickelback. Like they were very popular. They weren't Taylor Swift level, but they were very popular back then.
Everywhere. Yeah. It was like the Bible. You couldn't get away from it.
They would like back in National Treasure days, people would be like, yeah, Nickelback's like the worst band in the world. And it's kind of like, I don't know, look at their website because they've sold out 100 shows in North America. So I don't know about that. And like, I think,
even probably present day shit.
I think Chad Kroeger was a little bit like, I can't hear you because all the money that's literally pouring out of me. It's like, this is why I bought my house in Langley. So I can,
my $16 million 2-bed.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah. Get after it, Chad Kroeger.
I just never thought the Nickelback would come up in conversation, honestly.
I know.
It's a good time.
It's a crazy doozy time.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Let's talk about the plot of Natch Tresz.
Tell me about the plot.
All right. We open.
Yeah.
A young Benjamin Franklin Gates is in his attic fucking masturbate. I don't know, J&O or something. Yeah.
Like any curious young teen. He's in the basement.
He's J&O, and then his grandpa's like, "Do you want to hear a story?" He's like, "Yeah, Dad. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to find your Nickelback records, but yeah." So, and then Christopher Plummer talks about how
he'll open up the secrets of
all of this treasure. All of this treasure was accumulated by the
Knights Templar.
So
all the hidden treasure through times that Europe wanted to take away, that Britain wanted to take away.
So the Knights Templar discovered all this treasure in the Temple of Solomon in a hidden crypt, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna shepherd this treasure because it's too great for one man to have." Mm-hmm. The Knights Templar become the Freemasons. And then they take all the treasure to America. The Freemasons are sworn to protect the treasure.
That's right.
And among the Freemasons is George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, someone else. Some other
John Adams.
John Adams.
Well, his
why not?
grandfather's name is literally John Adams Gates.
Fine. I don't know any other American names. So just know two Americans from history. Ben Franklin, George Washington.
Yeah.
That's it. Malcolm X.
Perfect.
Probably a Freemason. Probably not. I don't know if they were a very racially accepting organization at that time.
Not
Sorry,
really.
Malcolm. Rest in peace. So it's like Benjamin, and then his grandfather was somehow involved in this treasure, and he's like, he's always dreamed of finding this treasure as
it's because it comes down from their great grandpas down to the current lineage.
The secret of the treasure. They have a clue. They have one clue for the secret. They're the keepers of this clue, basically. And
the clue is
something is aboard the Charlotte.
The Charlotte.
And they don't know the Charlotte is.
Yeah.
many years later, an adult Thomas Gates, played by Nicolas Cage, is in Antarctica with Sean Bean of House Stark and Justin Bartha and a couple other Scottish henchmen. And so one thing that is like I missed a couple times in this movie, you have to know about Thomas Gates. He's a mechanical engineer. He has like a mechanical engineering degree, and he went to Navy training school, which comes in handy like later. Yeah, you missed that, right? You missed that detail.
Oh my God.
It comes up later with the FBI when they show up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So they're looking for the quote unquote the Charlotte, which he thinks is a ship that's under the ice.
Ben Gates, right?
Nicolas Cage's character.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin Gates. Ben Gates.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Who knows who that is? Okay. Chad Kroger. Chad Kroger is in the Navy.
Okay.
That's why he stopped music. No.
Right. Yeah.
So he thinks it's a ship, and he thinks it's drifted here in the ice, and then they find it, and they find a pipe on board in this little box.
Mm-hmm.
The ship is covered in gunpowder, or full of gunpowder. They find this little pipe, and he finds a little clue after he like rubs it. He rubs blood on this message, and he rolls it across some paper, and he finds a clue.
He just, first of all, he knows all the riddle solving things immediately.
This dude must do the Sunday crossword in like 4 minutes.
Every day, all the time.
Yeah.
And
puzzle master.
He comes across this like buried thing from 100 years ago, and he's like, oh yeah, I just got to cut my hand open and smear it all over this. One
of the things that I think is like secretly not obviously enjoyable about Raiders, The Mummy,
mm-hmm.
National Treasure, and Da Vinci Code is the unnatural talent of these guys. Because like, but you don't think of it that way, right? Yeah. But it's like
They're
actually
all like Navy SEAL level.
Like it's pleasing to see when he's like wandering around the ship thinking through the riddle, and it's like it's fun to watch that. I like watching that stuff, you know?
Because like the room participates with him.
Yeah. Like the one guy who's like, oh, it's a prison, like Iron Cage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it reminds me of there's one of the best scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark is when at the very beginning when he meets with the army in the classroom, and they talk about the Staff of Ra, and then Indiana Jones literally takes over the conversation and explains what it is.
Yeah,
that's like it's such an iconically great scene. But you're like, yeah, this guy's like super smart. He's like super fucking intelligent.
Yeah,
and it's the same with Ben Gates. I like that about him.
I'm just so surprised because he obviously assumed Sean Bean's character, whose name is Ian, is going to be like this good friend because he's funding this expedition for over 2 years with him.
Yes.
Because they want to find the treasure together or something.
He's a mysterious
he's a
benefactor.
Rich guy. He's a good rich guy. But he's got all these henchmen with him all the whole time.
As he explains in this scene, they deduce that the map is on the back of or something is on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
And Ian says, well, we could steal it. And then he says, well, besides from being very wealthy and funding this thing, I've also been known to fund other underhanded, less legal schemes.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm just saying, like, the whole time in the car, they're driving through the icy roads, and he's like, hey, tell me about this AK-47 you guys are holding. Like, they never talk about it.
He's like,
guys.
Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen in Antarctica.
You know, like, in the middle of nowhere.
It's like, so Ian, what were you like before all this? He's like, I don't know. Danny Ocean, you ever heard of him? I'm like him.
Really into Nickelback? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just like there's nothing better than planning to rob a casino while jamming out to Nickelback.
Yeah.
Jamming out to the back, as they say. So
I love Sean Bean's character, man.
He is great.
Such a fucking restrained villain.
Very good villain.
Yeah, super convincing.
Yeah,
not like comically menacing or anything.
No, he's not. What's the word for it? Like, there's a point when he gets the declaration from Justin Bartha and Diane Kruger.
Yeah,
and like the one guy runs up and like pulls the gun, and he's like, "No, just leave it. Like, there's not a problem. We have it." And like he's a bad guy who you're just like, you get.
Yeah, because he's like. He's kind of just a
businessman. He's not evil. He's not evil.
He's not like crazy.
He's just motivated by the wrong things.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. He just wants the money.
In the end, the punishment like fits the crime. He doesn't they don't kill him and shove him off into a dark pit. He goes to jail. Like it's So anyway, Nicolas Cage says he's not going to steal the Declaration of Independence. There's a big kind of like shootout scene where the ship blows up. To leave Nicolas Cage and Justin Bartha there, and they end up escaping and Justin Bartha still says like he's still gonna go steal it. And Nicolas Cage is like, we'll stop him.
Yeah.
So they go to Washington, District of Columbia, the only district in the great United States of America where George Washington is named after. Chad Kroger's performed there many times, I think, on his international and national tours. Very successful.
Every week he's out there.
Every week he's in D.C. Big in D.C. And they go to the Department of Homeland Security. They go to the FBI to give them tips, and they laugh them out of the room. So they end up in Diane Kruger's office to tell her. That scene is fucking great. The small reveals that they have of like the nonsense that they're talking, like the great part at the end when she's like, well, how do you see the map or whatever? And he's like, it's invisible.
Yeah.
It's
it's pretty great.
Great.
It's pretty great. He's, of course, and that's why I was saying that this movie is self-aware, right?
It's so funny.
Yeah, it doesn't try to make him like an angry guy or like someone who's self-righteous.
It would be nonsense if Diane Kruger was like, oh my God, I can't believe I trust you. It's like, yeah. So anyway, Nicolas Cage is already formulating a plan in case this fails. He sees that she's missing a pin from this collection of antique pins. Mm-hmm. That's important. And she laughs them out of the room, basically. Nicolas Cage, they go to look at the Declaration, which is on display. And Nicolas Cage, basically, he quotes from it. He says, yo, do the right thing, which is a direct quote from the Declaration.
From the DP?
Yeah, that John Hancock. that John Hancock wrote, that he Hancocked. And then he says, I'm going to steal it to stop Ian from stealing it.
Yeah.
And Justin Bartha, this is a great scene of Justin Bartha, I think, where he's like, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. And he explains everything wrong with the plan.
Totally.
And then Nicolas Cage says, we'll do it from the preservation room. And my favorite line in the movie is, do you know what the preservation room is for? And Justin Bartha says, delicious jams and jellies.
Even the whole time he's like explaining the many layers of security that's kept to protect the Declaration.
It's the Ocean's 11 scene.
It's the Ocean's 11 scene. It's the Lord of War scene that reminded me of that opening scene when the bullet kind of goes through the casing. There's
a little
bit, very detailed
process
with someone talking in the background.
Yeah.
That was, well, no talking, but this
music.
Was cool.
Yeah. But like he explains everything that they would have to do to basically steal it. And then you see them formulate the plan. And they're going to do it during this like national gala event or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they go through with stealing it. There is only one part of this where I was talking about it earlier where I was like, this is a little hard to believe. So part of the plan is they have to get Diane Kruger's fingerprints.
Sure.
And see what she typed on the keyboard.
Yeah.
So he sends her a pin with this marked die thing, and she touches it. Then she goes to the preservation room. She types in her password. That's all fine.
Yeah.
At the gala, Nicolas Cage sneaks in as a janitor, takes off, and he's in a tux. Mm-hmm. Then he goes and talks to her about the pin and the gift, and he ends up getting her champagne glass in the most coincidental way that I just couldn't believe was real.
Well, yeah, he makes sure to not get his fingerprints on the top, so he holds it from the bottom, and he just like takes it off her hand, hoping that someone else would bring her another glass.
So she's alone. He brings her a glass.
Yeah.
She takes it. They talk for a few minutes or for a moment, and then her date comes and also brings her a glass. Mm-hmm. So Nicolas Cage takes her glass that he gave her back with her fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
And then gets her thumbprint to go use the elevator.
I feel like regardless, he would have, even if the date wasn't there,
I think he would have found
waited
a way
to finish the drink and taken the glass away.
I know. I think he would have found a way, but it was like, it lands like a little too perfectly, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like.
But like everything does too, man.
But surprisingly, that's the only moment I find very contrived, like a very like kind of like convenient for the plot. But that's okay. Yep. So he goes down, he steals the Declaration. All of this time, Ian is tunneling his way into the Declaration room. They come face to face in the hallway. They shoot at him.
Yeah.
He gets the Declaration. He runs out with it through the gift shop. He has to pay for 2 of them, including the real one
Hilarious.
for $35, which is very funny, using his Visa card, which is important. And then Diane Kruger catches him. And
there's a car chase,
and Ian ends up getting the quote-unquote Declaration, but it turns out to be the replica.
The switcheroo.
And then they go to Daddy's house.
Yeah.
Daddy, played by the ultimate daddy.
Jon Voight.
JV.
Oh, my God.
Jon Voight.
The funniest thing is Jon Voight is in that opening scene where Nic Cage is playing a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And Jon Voight has the most ridiculous toupee.
Yeah. Jon Voight from 20 years ago looks the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I love that they just kind of kept the attic super dark, like no lights, and he wanders in. You see a little bit of his
also,
face.
Christopher Plummer plays his dad, and you're just like, y'all look the same
You
age.
look the same age,
Yeah.
my guys.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And he opens the door, of course. He's surprised to see his son. And he's like, oh, this better not be about the treasure. Who's this girl? Did you get her pregnant?
You knock her up.
You knock her up. And, of course, they go in and they're like, hey, Dad, you're going to have to bust out some of the lemons you got in your fridge.
Plenty of lemons, yeah.
Why does Jon Voight, a man who lives alone, have that many lemons?
Babe, easy answer. He's an alcoholic.
But limes. That's my first thought. People would have limes.
Yeah, G&T.
Limes, baby.
No, bro.
Oh, come on. Lemons for amateurs, all right?
What?
As a
aspiring professional alcoholic, you know? Yeah.
I know a good lime when I see it.
Yeah.
All
I'm going to see you later with that red wine.
That looked like some...
red wine with a lemon wedge.
A lemon wedge. What am I, fucking mental? No.
You're like, it gives it a little je ne sais quoi. It really adds to the bouquet.
That to me was the contrived part to me. This was my scene where I was like, this is a little too unbelievable.
It was like... They literally opened the fridge and there was a bowl of lemons, which is very funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, honestly, so they start with a bowl of sliced lemon, and then they need more. But it was like, I think you have because they're using like a little fucking earbud.
Yeah.
And it's like you have plenty of
One
lemons here.
wedge
You
is
do not
enough.
need more. Yeah. And there's a very the attempt at sexual chemistry where they blow on the Declaration of Independence together, and
because they had to generate more heat.
You need heat. Yeah, gross. It made me very uncomfortable. Don't ever touch my declaration like that.
Please, Miss Kruger.
Yeah. They find a cipher on the back and they realize it's
a Freemason.
I don't know why, but I'm like, they have to go to they're looking for these letters to solve the cipher that Jon Voight has, but he doesn't because he donated them to the Benjamin Franklin Museum of being Benjamin Franklin, lightning bolt and a keychain, whatever the fuck, in Philadelphia. And so they got to go to Philadelphia. It's a
Basically,
whole fucking cavalcade.
The letter has more hints, and so they definitely
more
need
clues.
It in addition to the independence.
That's Jon Voight's whole thing. He's like, it just leads to more shit. It's a never ending thing.
Totally.
So they take the Declaration. They go to Philadelphia. They go to the church. They have to go at a certain time. They find out. There's a great scene in the clothing store when he's like, "Can I have one of those $100 bills that I paid you with?" She's like, "No." Yeah. I like that. They go to the church and they find the Benjamin Franklin's funky glasses that guy was definitely a raver, but yeah.
100% fucking party animal. He's just doing it to watch the dirty pictures.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
The dirty pictures.
The
dirty moving pictures. See
blue,
this,
green, and
watch
red.
this lady take off her frock over and over again.
In multiple colors. Benny. Sick.
Filthy. Like Benjamin Franklin.
But it's so cool. All the cool shit he invented, man.
Benjamin Franklin, he was like a great inventor.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like a certain percentage of the things that he invented that were like specifically for Jang as D? And like the American history has been like, we don't talk about that part of Benjamin Franklin. Just better ways of getting off and like porn. If we found out that Benjamin Franklin was the first person to ever invent the fleshlight or whatever, it would be like amazing.
It uses muslin cloth for jizzling into it. Gross.
There's like long passages about how to formulate homemade lube and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. He was
got a peg for the
disgusting man.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bain.
Sorry, America. Get a better founder. He sucks. In Philadelphia, there's another kind of frantic foot chase where they split up, and then eventually Sean Bean gets the Declaration from them.
That's right.
Gets it back. And Ben is arrested by the friendly FBI agent Harvey Keitel.
Hey!
With the glasses.
Super nice guy.
So
Harvey Keitel, what a gem.
Yeah, great. Just a yeoman's work in this. Ian calls him and is like, "Hey, come alone to this big ship in New York. Bring the glasses. Don't bring the FBI. We're going to meet, then you can go free. We're going to look at the map, or they're going to look at the whatever the fuck, then we go free with the glasses."
I just love that everybody's immediately on board. They do more bargaining when human lives are at stake. when they just wait. If there's like a bank with an active robber, they'd be like, "No, let's just wait more."
To be perfectly honest, so it's on the aircraft carrier in New York.
Yeah.
Like Sean Bean's plan is like so unclear that it is like the FBI must have been like, don't bring us. Like, this is like a fucking slam dunk. Like, how could they really anticipate what happens? And what happens is that Ben Gates dives over the side and like gets a fucking little ride on some little thing.
But also, like, why do they have to go after Sean Bean's character at all? Like, we got this guy's Visa records. He stole the thing. He talked about it. He went to a library, issued 20 books about the Declaration.
But also, like, why they want the Declaration back, right?
Sure.
And Sean Bean needs the glasses. Why do they do the first thing that comes to mind? Like, because like Sean Bean needs the glasses, and this is kind of like, let's just wait, see what he does.
Let's just see.
You know,
what's he gonna? Okay, so he fucking rips it up. Good night.
It is like it's like they just kind of like fall for the very first thing that he does. So
come on, yeah.
The FBI, stupid,
silly goose,
silly, stupid people. Okay, get a better federal bureau.
Federal Bureau of Idiots, am I right?
Fucking torched him.
Got him, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, FBI, don't come for me. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they don't have jurisdiction here. We can say whatever we want.
Suck it, FBI.
Yeah. Suck it.
Hope you take more lemons with you.
Hey, FBI. We all go down to the border and do that to America.
I know, but like at once.
Yeah. Go look at the border.
Make passport. We can do it then.
Make eye contact with them. No, we don't go over the border. We just stand at the border and we make eye contact with the people. We're just like, hey, I'm scared. Oh, you can't cross the border and come get me, can you?
I use Ben Franklin's flashlight all the time.
Yeah. Your founding father used to JSD just for 37 hours. Yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Love what they're doing.
Our founders were they were cool. Neat people.
They didn't do much.
They were Scottish and shit.
Oh, right.
No, they were stupid.
No, they were also stupid.
They were dumb. Basically, so then
Nicolas Cage's character just gives the FBI the switcheroo and dives into the water
and meets Ian. Finds
Ian.
And then knows where to go from there, which is under Wall Street.
That's
correct.
Right. That's right. At that point, they know exactly where they have to be going, which is a 5-story fucking building
vault
under a church.
Yeah.
So they're.
I'm a little fuzzy on this because I watched the half earlier, but I didn't see the ending. So
what happens is they solve the last part of the riddle, which is you have to meet at the corner of Wall and Broadway.
Yeah.
Which is part of the code, and they get there and it's like, okay, let's go into this church. They go to the church. And they find the right place to go down into the vault. And of course, it's this crazy labyrinth of like...
It's a endless vault.
Endless vault
that's like Star Wars.
100 feet deep. Yeah. And of course, all of this shit is like built like wooden steps that...
Yeah, that everyone very confidently kind of like steps around.
Everyone's
just
like, walking around these stairs.
Yeah,
it looks like
terrifying.
that scene from Hogwarts where the staircases keep moving, except this is all like 200 years old.
Yeah, impractical
Shitty.
Hogwarts.
Not good.
Dumb shit. Why are you late for class? Oh, there's a staircase moving? It's like, fuck off, dude.
You're going to get expelled or worse.
You're going to get expelled or worse.
And worse definitely happens to one of the guys because he falls the fuck down and dies to death.
Yes, he dies. He dies a full death.
At that point, they keep fighting. They keep going down. And then they get to the final point of the vault.
Can we be clear? It is Sean Bean, John Voight, Diane Kruger, Justin Bartha, and Nic Cage are all here in this scene. Yeah. Because John Voight has been kidnapped by Ian.
Yeah. Yes. They're all together. Yeah. He's the bargaining.
But you could have predicted that.
They're the whole family, the gang's back together, but they're all held hostage by Sean Bean, and he's like,
and at that time, the FBI is like, oh, what do we do now? How do we solve crimes?
We'll just wait for Nicolas Cage to tell us.
Oh, I guess we'll just wait around and just look at stuff.
Stupid.
Fucking stupid idiots.
God,
idiots,
TV.
FBI, dummies. Yeah, try to learn something for once.
We're gonna get put on some kind of list for saying FBI.
I'm already there and I'm proud. Go on. So they reach the end of the vault. They get to the
end of the vault, and Nic Cage's like, it's not here.
There's no treasure.
It's just not here. I don't know what the fuck. And Sean Bean's getting ready to shoot him, and then his dad, John Voight's like, wait, it's in Boston.
Dun, dun, dun.
We saw the one thing, but it's the other thing. It's not here. I told you, the maze, it keeps growing. You got to go to Boston, and you got to take us with us. But Sean Bean's like, no, I know where to find you. I'm just going to leave you here.
Sean Bean goes all Boston. He's like, hey, fuck you.
He goes to Boston himself, leaves them there to rot and die in the basement. Nic Cage grabs that pipe that he found on the ship in the start of the movie.
Sean Bean gives him back the pipe because he said he would give it back to him.
Right.
It's like an ironic, like, here's your stupid ass pipe,
your stupid
bitch.
pipe and
I'm
going to
be a billionaire.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he takes the pipe and he ventures further into
Doesn't John Voight, he's like, no, it's not in Boston. I actually know where it is.
Right? At that point, there's a redeeming moment between the father and the son where he's like, Dad, there's no treasure here. And when John Voight's character is like, it doesn't matter. You were totally right. Like, I keep saying there's no treasure, but the room exists. So it's good to know. It's like a nice father-son kind of bonding moment. The pipe comes in handy. And then ultimately they find $10 billion worth
Yeah, they find all the treasure because the pipe is a key. And they stick it in the wall. And then it opens another chamber.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole treasure room. And then they get out of there.
All of it. Yeah. And it's more than what they could have thought and hoped for. And they find another exit, so they get out of there.
Yeah.
And everyone's safe and no one's harmed.
And then Nicolas Cage, like an idiot, is like, oh, we'll give it to a museum. Idiot.
The stupidest part is that Nicolas Cage spends so much time with that FBI guy, and he's supposed to be this master decoder, and he doesn't notice that the FBI guy is wearing a Freemason ring.
Yeah.
100% till the end.
Also, hella corruption. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Nicolas Cage would still go to prison.
Yeah, but they're like, nah, you found the treasure and you gave it up.
And we have another person who, in all honesty, would get a lesser prison sentence in a fully just world because he didn't actually steal the Declaration. He just broke into a building.
Yeah.
It's serious corruption.
It's hilarious. It's quite great because it's also very much that, the FBI, or especially that agent who's a Freemasons guy, I was like, I'll get you off, my
turns
guy.
Turns out all of your conspiracy theories are correct.
They're all right because we've all been trying to protect the Tresz naturally.
The Natch Tresz. Harvey Keitel is like, this is the best Natch Tresz I've ever seen.
Hell yeah.
You're the greatest natural treasure I've ever seen. Nicolas Cage. That's a reference to Beautiful Mind.
Does this?
Yeah. And then they do get part of the money, and Justin Bartha makes, what I read was he would have had around $50 million.
They take 1%.
And he gets half.
And
so they each get $50 million.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage buys an old colonial house to bang Diane Kruger in.
Yes.
And Justin Bartha gets a ridiculous car.
A big red Ferrari that he doesn't know how to drive.
Yes.
It's still great because he's a fucking goat.
Yeah. And then this is kind of becomes a problem. We'll talk about it in the sequel, but it's like they have to get all of that money taken away from them somehow, which is actually kind of funny. But
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that's the end.
And that is the end. Too many limes. No, not enough limes. Too many
no
limes.
Limes. There are no limes in this. Yeah. Yeah.
But still a fucking banger.
No limes, lots of banging.
And I love it when they like take their time to like show us what the treasure is. That was cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like reveal of
Ben Franklin's J.O. tools.
There's one forbidden corner where it's just like gold-plated dildos.
But everything, a bunch of stuff with like weird mouths and things.
Mouths and more. We don't know my guy. He probably had a free life.
Oh, this must be the Benjamin Franklin hole area.
Benjamin.
Various hole area. Okay.
Yeah. Still great. Still quality.
It is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Franklin was a great man, despite his sexual tendencies.
I'm really glad we watched it.
It's fucking awesome.
Because, oh my gosh, this is the only time I saw it, and the last time I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
I saw it when I was like a teenager.
Worthy rewatch.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Fucking right.
Damn.
Natch Tresz.
Hey boy.
Do you want to say anything about this? We're going to do National Treasure 2 next, so.
That's right. We'll hold off.
Might as well cut this bitch down.
You got to come back to the low ceiling.
That's the podcast we're on. We host it.
Hey.
It's our own national treasure.
It is. You know what? It is my national treasure.
Yeah.
National treasure of my heart.
Yeah. This.
Sorry.
I really want to get a Government of Canada funding grant so we can talk more about Benjamin Franklin jacking his dick. You know, wouldn't that be nice?
This is a historical podcast.
Dude, why don't you support the arts? Okay, we're performers. This is entertainment.
God, get it together, Canada.
For like 2 or 3 people, this is entertainment. Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin is a total deviant, and thank you for listening. I've been John. This is The Low Ceiling. Natch Tresz is a good movie.
And I'm Bree, and it's been great to love and know Nickelback has Nic Cage.
Really captured the hearts and the minds.
The Nickel Cage, baby.
Nickel Cage.
Bye.
Look at this photograph. Bye.